Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Matt, and as promised, I have a brand new video for you. Now, I did promise in my live commentary that I was going to kind of do an overall summary of Close Quarters and my thoughts on it. And I wanted to leave that for a short while. I didn't want to rush into it. I wanted to give Close Quarters a chance to kind of grow on me, you know, and maybe change my opinion on what I thought of it. Maybe grow on me, or maybe not grow on me. Maybe kind of get worse, in my opinion on it. But I'll give it a real chance now. Obviously, it's been out for almost a week, or maybe over a week on PC for premium players now. So I've had a lot of chance to play it. As you can see here, I'm running around with the F2000, and I actually switch out to the PP2000. So I've got my my Millennium Bug on. I've got my 2000 weapons out, and I'm going to talk about those in a bit. Trying to talk about the weapons that I've found more useful on Close Quarters. Now, in my live commentary, I was saying that obviously that was done very early on when Close Quarters first came out, and it hadn't really grown on me at the time yet. I wasn't too keen on it. Now, since then, Close Quarters has grown on me a little bit. I've got more used to it. Obviously, it takes time to adjust to that type of gameplay. As you can see, I've been using my surround sound headset, which, as you can see here, I could see that I could hear that guy coming even. And even though I use my surround sound headset normally as well, I find it a lot more useful on Close Quarters now because obviously much smaller map sizes. And I find it really useful to hear people, you know, sneaking up behind you and things. And that's one of the real issues I had with Close Quarters at first. Was to do with obviously the spawns, and I kept feeling like I was getting shot in the back, not because people were outsmarting me, but because I was getting outspawned. People were just, you know, spawning behind me, and I really didn't like that at first, but I've kind of got used to that, and I've got used to the kind of the fast-paced action of it a bit, because obviously I've been a Battlefield player for quite a while now, and this is more like a kind of Call of Duty style, you know, gameplay, and I can understand why DICE did it. It's a good opportunity for them to try and bring in, you know, bring on board more sales and more players. And overall, I don't think it's too bad of a game type, but I do have something that I think will happen to this. I think this game type, or this DLC, will be very much like Battlefield Vietnam for Bad Company 2. If any of you guys did have that, it was very successful. A lot of people played it, but after maybe a month, 2 months, if you went on any Vietnam servers, it was completely dead. Now, I do have the feeling that Close Quarters, everyone's playing it at the moment because it's you know, it's new, and everyone's, you know, wanting a chance to play new maps, and obviously, the real advantage about Close Quarters I've found is it really does help me score per minute. My score per minute is almost 500 now. I think it is actually 500. Before I started playing Close Quarters, it was about 400. So it's really rocketed my my score per minute, which is good, obviously, because you're taking those flags, especially on Conquest Domination. You're taking those flags very quickly. That is my favourite game mode on here, actually. I really do enjoy it. It's very fast-paced. I'm not too keen on Gunmaster. I never really have been keen on that, even when it was on the, you know, back in the days of Counter-Strike. I just don't think for the amount of time you play, you don't get much points for it. You score not as much as you do from playing games like this mode anyway. So Conquest Domination is definitely my favourite game mode to have come out with this latest DLC. But as I said, I do think that a couple of months down the line, I won't see many people playing this at all, I don't think, because it's one of those things that people will move back to the normal Battlefield, because it's not the kind of game mode that kind of sits within the normal Battlefield. You don't kind of have a game of Grand Bazaar then kind of switch over to this. It's more of you either do Close Quarters or normal Battlefield. So I think people are going to eventually kind of shift back across to normal Battlefield, and I don't think you'll see many people playing this, which is a little bit of a shame, but I just think that's the way things are going to pan out. Now, when this DLC came out, I really wanted to experiment with the weapons. Not only to say the weapons that came out with the DLC, but also weapons that I don't normally use in kind of normal situations on my normal playstyle on the regular Battlefield maps. So as you can see here, I've been using the PP2000. Now, look at me there. I changed my button configuration, so I keep kind of swiping my knife desperately when I'm trying to throw grenades. So I think I've done it about 5 times in this game, actually. Yeah, I wanted to really try out some different weapon types and different weapon kind of, you know, setups and play styles, and a lot of people have been saying, oh, the AEK is the best weapon for Close Quarters, and I really was kind of reserved against using that. I really didn't want to go with it because the AEK is a weapon I use a lot anyway, and I really wanted to try and get a completely different experience out of Close Quarters. I really didn't want to try and just fall back on my usual kind of weapon types. So I've been experimenting with weapons such as the MP7 and also the ACWR. And the one I found the most successful for myself, as you can see here, is the PP2000. Now, I've been using this with extended magazines. You only get a 20-round magazine at first. That once you get it extended, it obviously boosts up to a 41-round magazine. That's with one in the chamber. And I really do think this weapon packs a good punch. It's very accurate at kind of medium distance range, which is the kind of the longest distance you'll never experience in close quarters anyway. it seems to be able to handle all the situations you need it to on close quarters really well. And with a 41 round magazine, you can take out, I've got footage of me taking out up to 3 targets at once with one magazine. So it's definitely got a big enough capacity when you've got the extended mags on. And it does seem to kick a real punch, especially since the patch now. It's been boosted a little bit. And I do think it's a really useful little weapon. And as I said, I'm enjoying using it because it's not the kind of normal play style that I use, or normal weapon that I use on regular Battlefield. So that's one thing I really wanted to experiment with when I started playing close quarters. I really didn't want to just kind of fall back on my usual play style and just whip out, you know, an AEK or an M16. So I really was experimenting with different weapons. The MP7, since the patch, has been a little bit boosted, and that too is a good bit of kit. But for me personally, can't really put my finger on it, but the PP2000 has really excelled for me personally. So it's a really good little bit of kit that I recommend using. As you can see, I've been using the Cobra sight with the laser attachment, and of course, as I mentioned, the extended magazines. And so far, I haven't found any kind of situations where I've thought, ooh, I could have done with a bigger weapon or a longer range weapon. So if you're still experimenting with weapons on close quarters, which I know a lot of people are, I noticed I was playing with some friends, and every time I died and they died, we were constantly, you know, swapping through different weapons and giving different things a try. And the PP2000 for me personally has come on top, so you should give that a whirl. That's a Three Musketeers recommendation there. Now, out of the 4 maps to come out with a DLC, Zebra Tower, Operation 925, this map, Donyu Fortress, and of course Scrap Metal. My 2 favourite maps have to be this one and Scrap Metal. Now, Scrap Metal must be one of the most beautiful online maps I've ever seen. The micro detail, the textures, the lighting, everything they've done for that map is really, really impressive. And I like the layout. It's very kind of, it's quite unique. I do like the kind of lines of sight. It's a very interesting map. But the map that I like the least is going to be Operation 925. There's something about that map that I don't really know. I can't put my finger on it, but I just seem less successful at that map than I do at the other 3. So in order, I'd say Scrap Metal is my favourite, followed by this map, then followed by Zebra Tower, and then Operation 925 is my least favourite. But all the maps themselves are pretty cool. They all have a very unique feel and unique kind of layout to them. So applause there to DICE for that kind of impressive map work. It has impressed me a lot. So that's my kind of overall opinion on close quarters. As I said, I really didn't want to rush into an opinion or make too much of a formulated opinion too early on. I know in my first video about it, I didn't seem too pleased with it. That's because I hadn't had much luck with it yet. And since then, I've grown to it a little bit more. And I don't mind it, but don't expect to see me playing it too often. As I said, it's not going to kind of replace my normal standard Battlefield play type. But if I ever feel like a kind of change of pace, an upbeat change of pace, then I probably will step back onto close quarters now and again. As I said, as long as people are still on the servers, which I doubt they will be for more than another maybe 2 months. But I will dabble in and out of close quarters now and again, because it is quite a nice upbeat change. But I don't think it'll be taken over from my regular kind of Battlefield gameplay. Anyway, guys, this video is almost over now, so thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please rate, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And leave a comment below what you think of close quarters. I really like hearing from you guys and hearing what you think about different things and about the videos. So please do that in the comment section below. And in the meantime, I'll have another video for you very, very soon. So stay tuned, and I will see you soon.